Hey guys, this is Andarin27 and welcome back for our final episode of Timberborn. I'm hoping that we can make it a pretty special one. I really hope it doesn't turn into a disappointing end, and with that said, let's just get to it. And welcome back to Ironhaven. Alright, let's see where we're at. So we've got this filled up, getting our pump built. They are still filling it, but I will be pausing them momentarily. We've got our bread production up. We've got our potatoes being cooked. I don't believe we have any being stored. We don't see any raw potatoes, so yeah, they're all being cooked as fast as they can be. Got our dynamite going in. I had a couple thoughts. I'm going to pause real quick. So, just like over here, we're putting down just tiny little emergency water. Well, there is quite literally no reason we can't do that for our Lidos. You know, just have some swimming pools. My swimming pool isn't hooked up to a river, not directly anyway. So let's go ahead. We're going to unlock these. It does have to be placed by a river, so it says. We're about to prove them quite wrong. They are still working over here to get that treatment. I can't remember what it's called now. So we need to have some space for this. Let's see here. I want to have 2 of them. So wherever we put this, it needs to have a total width of 8. So let's see here. You know, right here might not be bad. We'll go ahead, clear some trees out and let them do that while we're waiting. Let it run, and we can do a similar thing over here. It's probably a little trickier on this side. That said, you know, there's actually quite literally no reason, well, other than that it's going to dry out much sooner than later. I don't know why that guy's thirsty. We can probably set it up in here somewhere. I doubt this is wide enough, but let's take a look. Actually, we could set it up running this way. No reason not to. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. We'll throw down our explosives. We're going to need... So it needs 1 space that way. And I can't quite tell if that was a 3 wide or a 4 wide. I'll put it like this for now. Let's take another look at that. It is 4 wide. So we'll put down another like so. Like, oh, you know what we don't have though? Room to fill it. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Oh. Alright, that's unfortunate. No, that's not going to work because we can't fill it from here. We have to provide it its own way, and we can't hook it up to this district. It quite literally will not let you connect roads. So there's no way to make this work. That's disappointing. I should say there's no way to make this work right here. I thought it was going to be perfect, but sometimes life has other plans. That said, we just have to find another place for it. And it's not like there's a shortage of such places. Yeah, actually in this district there is legitimately a shortage of such places. We could throw it up here. Gets in the way of any future expansion right there. But we certainly could throw it up here. You know, and this is not nearly as... it still has 60 people. Alright. I don't know where we could put it. Actually, we will throw it up here. You want to know why? Because we can use this to fill up our Lidos. At least for now. And no reason actually that we can't do it later as well. So first things first, obviously we got to get rid of all these unsightly trees that are going to be blocking our Lido. And I do believe they have They have range on everything except this guy. So we'll just cancel that one because I don't want to see a little demolition thing for the rest of time. Wow, that water went down so quick. I guess that makes sense for what we're doing. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to dynamite down a little pathway along here. And just live with the fact that our water store is not going to last. I do think that there is a maximum of what your water storage can last. And we can kind of get that from over here. That said, I mean, this is about, I think I mentioned, about a half block deep. And I believe it takes it about 10 days to fully disappear. So as far as evaporation goes, if this is about 2.5 blocks deep, then it takes 10 days for every half block. I mean, you're at 50 days for evaporation alone to drain this. So there's never going to be a drought that long. That said, over the course of this 18 drought, you are losing about pretty close to a block worth of material from evaporation. So it's just a little something there that I was thinking about. Still worth expanding out this way. It'll definitely still be it'll definitely still hold water that we can use, and water that's going to be extremely beneficial for how fast our beavers drink it, especially since we're coming up on 200 beavers. We have done very well. I think I actually forgot about turning off. Yeah, we have too many unemployed, so I'm going to turn off these beavers. And with that done, we have got this finished, so let's go ahead and lay out our Lido. We're going to need, first of all, some place to fill it from. Sorry, I got to remember what I'm doing here. And where we want to place it, actually. So first things first, where do we want this thing? And we could actually place it. So we're going to want this one to go here. This one's got to go like this. Okay. So then, in terms of our dynamite, we're going to go like that. And then where are we going to fill it from? We're going to fill it from right here. Throw some roads down to show where we're going to be at. Alright, let them get to it. We'll keep going. Obviously, in this series, we're not going to finish this. We know how long it takes them to lay out that much explosives. It's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, the reservoir will never see its full ultimate grand glory, though you can imagine what it would look like. And as we grow out more and more population, you would probably see more of these pump stations. Though there wouldn't be any more over here. But that's probably just as well. We would see a lot more grow out over here, and we would probably, if need be, put in a lot more hauling stations to haul water from the reservoir district to our other districts, wherever those may be. Obviously, we're working towards getting something over here. Well, with that said, they're going to build that. I'll let them work on that, and actually, I'd better make sure this is, well, there's room to change it if it isn't, but as far as what we're going to do to fill it, a water dump. Yeah, so that would work. Alright, well, I'll let them do that, and we'll be back in a little bit. So, a little bit of bad news I just discovered. These aren't connected. It's not because of the path, it's because they're quite literally just out of range of the district center. Which feels like that should not be a thing. Oh, well, you're just disconnected because you're turned the wrong way. And that was just me being silly. We'll get that fixed. Not The loss of 40 logs is not huge, although maybe I should be a lot more concerned about it. Are you... Yes, I did the same thing on this. Okay. I see where I went wrong. I should probably edit that out so that I'm not embarrassed, but I'll probably leave it in because, hey, it's the last episode. Let's all laugh at me. Alright, guys. So, no water left in the reservoir, and no water left in the river. But only 5 days left until this drought is over. Still, if this was, this was only a 17 or an 17-day drought. So I'd be a little concerned about our population weathering a big one. We did get the Lidos set up over here. They are working on them. I also gave them some campfires over here. So over in this district, I think, yeah, we're still well below the city center district in terms of well-being, which is definitely dragging us down. In terms of that well-being, I don't know. I don't know what's really keeping us down over here. But whatever it is, it's alright. We'll just keep working. We'll work around it. I am actually kind of shocked at how long this little bit of water has lasted, because this has been paused since the last drought. So, maybe I'm wrong about that 10-day. But at any rate, we haven't even gotten into this water yet. So we do have some water stored. I've set up to go ahead and get some explosives over here to the pond over here. If we're gonna start doing that kind of stuff, we're definitely gonna need a lot more water dumps on this particular river. That's not the right one. That said, not a lot happening, and I don't have that much time left in my recording either. What I may do is break up this episode into 2 recording sessions. I don't have a ton of time, and that'll obviously put me a day behind on my recordings, but that said, if this is going to be our last, I really do want to go out with, on a high note, and not just on ran out of time, guys, sorry we didn't get much done this episode. So, that said, that probably is where we're going to end up, no matter what I do. Still working on getting the Lido over here built. They'll get to it by and by. I also built another bakery over here. We were getting just a tad low on food, and now they're keeping up over in that district at any rate. This district as well. Well, maybe it's mostly this district. No, they're both doing okay. Well, the water's back. My time is running very short. And as much fun as it would be to go just a little further, I don't think I am. So what I'm going to do instead is kind of just talk about what would have been, and then talk about what's coming next up on the channel. So obviously we would have kept growing out. Let's just go over this. The reservoir district would have grown. We would have expanded this all the way out, all the way to the bottom. Our beavers would have probably filled in at least one more set of these 8 pumps. I probably would have built another pump over here. And so our our demands would have kept growing, and our ability to meet those demands hopefully would have improved as well. The one thing that would have been a real challenge growing out here would have been keeping up with the water demands of something so far out. But we would have got a new metal harvesting area over here and kept growing out. This would have been our principal breadbasket. We would have made sure that water stayed in here. I would have brought ditches all the way down here. In fact, maybe all the way to the edge of the map, and then run them down and had a little waterfall coming down into the canyon again. we would have kept growing out our industry. Obviously, we were having some struggles here. My wood workshop. Thank you. My wood workshop ran out of planks, of all things. So I actually was already working on addressing that. Beavers are building another lumber mill already to address the plank issue. We would have increased our paper production. I think explosives would have continued to be a very important resource on this map. We would have just kept on building them out. Would have got all of our Lidos. Actually, all these guys are enjoying their Lidos. The city center hasn't got theirs yet. But obviously the canyon would have been an interesting part of working around this. It was an interesting part of working around everything on this map. There was never a time on this map when we weren't fighting against the terrain. There's just no getting around that, and that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was part of the challenge. As far as, I would have also liked to have built some of these more advanced buildings we didn't get to. I think we got all the housing. We would have got ourselves a deep mechanical water pump. Probably I would have run a ditch or some sort over to get to there and had it running to fill everything. It looks like it would have been pretty good on that front. A 700 power would have been a major problem. We would have got engines to run that. We were never going to do water wheels. It was just impractical on this map, on this difficulty. So that was never going to happen. We were going to run on beaver power until we had engine power. And that engine power would have been a thing of beauty. We might have even gone and replaced some of these beaver wheels with engines. But before we could have done that, we'd have needed a whole lot more trees. And with that in mind, I'd actually started planning. I was going to turn this into my orchard, or my lumber resource to power my engines. Would we have gotten? Yes, we would have gotten books. It was something I wanted to get. They would have loved having books. But again, that was going to take a lot more resources than we had available. Deep mine or efficient mines, probably not going to be a thing. I probably would have used all the metal that I had available before ever going anywhere near this. This would have been a far future resource, but it was an option. Obviously talked about engines. We would have got ourselves some observatories, although to what end, I don't know. By the time I could have gotten observatories, which would have been about now, I could have got these now. But we never were really starved for science. The only thing we would have needed them for was some of these higher end buildings, and even there, it would have been specifically the monuments, which we would have built. Obviously not going to happen in this series, but we would have built it, and just really if for no other reason than to just show off our capacity. Our Ironteeth did thrive here in the canyon. They took this miserable little place, and they have made it theirs, and we would have continued to do so. At this point, nothing would have ended the Ironteeth. The Ironteeth here at Ironhaven, we can assume, would go on to build a bustling population center with tons of water storage. Honestly, they probably would have got to the point where they never would empty the reservoir. And, I mean, that's pretty much it. Let me show you how this works real quick. I have to be careful, though, because it does fill quite quickly. And, yeah. Barely uses any water, and now they have swimming for the next who knows how long. So this over here, it did work well. It did run out, and in fact ran out very quickly. I don't know if that's because what's happening is that the trees are pulling on water from the river. Maybe that's what happens rather than evaporation, is that the the plants absorb water. I don't know. I was thinking there was evaporation. I'd heard on someone else's video that that was a thing, but now I'm not so certain that it was. And obviously, I'm not the person to find that out. If any of you know, would love to know that. Leave a comment down below. With that said, that's where we're going to leave our Ironteeth. I might get through to the next drought. Probably not. So, that is going to be the end of the very first series on this channel. And it's been a fun one. I've enjoyed it. Does the game have some growing to do? Absolutely. It's obviously not a finished product. This is early access. And I am excited to see where it goes. I think that the developers have some great ideas here. Want to see some of them fleshed out. Want to see more variety in the challenge. Obviously, the droughts are the main focus right now, and I will agree, the droughts are intense. That's probably just about the only word for it. They are intense. That said, droughts get old. You can plan for droughts. All of our pumping stations prove that. You can fill this map up with water storage and weather the worst of droughts. Probably going to be the first thing I do when I get back in is build a heck of a lot more water storage to make sure that we can endure even the worst of droughts. Also build out a lot more food storage. Make sure you're always running a surplus. And with that said, the next series that I'm planning on doing, I'm going to be doing, I think, Crusader Kings. And my intent there is to do some achievement hunting. And mostly that's for me, but maybe there's some people that would want to see that. So we're going to be doing some achievement hunting in Crusader Kings 3. I love Paradox games. I probably have more hours in, if you summed up all the hours of my Paradox games, I probably have more hours in those Paradox games than in all my other games combined. So we're going to go chasing some achievements, and in the long term, I'm hoping to do some specialized videos, maybe a Saturday release, and these would be, I've seen it done before, basically like a 1,000-year run, where you start out in Crusader Kings 3, and you run it all the way to Hearts of Iron 4. And they've got mods that let you import your games from one game to the next. We've got Victoria 3 coming out. They say later this year. We'll see if that happens or not. If it doesn't, maybe I'll pick up Victoria 2. I've never done that. It looks like it's kind of an outdated game, so I'm not a big fan of that idea. But whatever happens, I really do think I'm going to pick up Victoria 3, and we'll probably do some of that. The Paradox games are probably my favorite. And maybe we'll do some Stellaris series, some Hearts of Iron series. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that's kind of the intent there, and like I said, long term I want to do a 1,000 years of history. And I kind of have an idea for what that'll be, but I'm going to keep that one kind of close to the chest. And yeah, we'll see. I hope that as we go along, that more of you join me and leave your comments. And you know, this has been a lot of fun, and I appreciate all of you for coming along with me. Not very many at this point. That's to be expected. This is a brand new channel. I haven't found my audience yet. That said, if you do find this video and enjoy this content, leave a comment down below, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.